I'm Alina, your host, and today we have Lexie.
Yay.
How are you, Lex?
Good, actually.
Good.
Mhm.
Solomon.
I'm here. Where's all the rest of the boys?
So, well, it's the weekend after the quote unquote holiday that they stole our land, kidnapped our kids, and raped our women. Tom's coming back from the desert. Tony has some kind of comedy show tonight or something like that. Trina's with the grandbabies. Gina's at work. And really, this topic, anyways, kind of is best for Lexie.
Oh, God.
And it's best because it would be perfect if, like, my nephew Michael would come on, but he's so shy he can't. Because it's about, and this goes for any age. Do you want to say it or do you want me to say it? You could say it.
Okay, it's about dating, and then it's how soon, because today's December, we just got done with Thanksgiving, we've got New Year's coming up, Christmas. It's dating and how soon do you introduce the person you're dating to your family? What are like some gift expectations?
Ooh.
And then is it okay to still wish your ex like Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, all of the things?
That's a.
Okay, before we get started, I think we have to set some parameters, and even for me.
Okay.
So, when we say dating, first of all, we're talking short term, right? We're not talking like you've been dating
Under
for
a
a
year.
year.
Under
a
a year.
Okay,
So a couple months, between 1 and like 6 months.
Okay, so 1 and 6, so that makes sense. And now we set the parameters, and now there's a total understanding. Okay,
I don't know. I think it's like, I think 1 to 6 months, that shouldn't even be a conversation. So I'm
Really?
going to say for me, it'd be 6 months to a year. I'm going to have
Okay,
this
we'll say
conversation.
1 month to a year.
Yes, let's do 1 month to a year.
Yeah, the answers may be different for 1 month and for a year. It may be different answers, but
I think it depends on who you ask.
Yeah, you know what? It depends on age. Because if you're young, like in your early 20s, back in 1990, early 2000s, within a month you would have been introduced to the family, right?
Right.
Now this younger generation is like, they don't even say dating. It's such a different thing for them. It's
No, well, that's a whole nother topic because some people will be like, oh, am I dating? Am I talking? Or like, that's not my boyfriend or my girlfriend. But
but we spend every weekend together. But
I'm
that's not my
very
girlfriend.
convinced it doesn't matter if you agreed. I'm not talking to nobody else. You're not talking to nobody else. We're only doing this together.
That's a commitment.
I'm your girlfriend.
Yes.
Whether you like it or not, I'm your girlfriend. Shut up.
So I think it all depends on the age of the people. So like, we'll say this topic, I guess, would be for 30 years plus, today's topic.
Okay.
Because anybody younger, they're weird. They're so different than when we were. Like, because I always say, like, on Thanksgiving night when I kissed Javier for the first time, you're never leaving my side. And he didn't. Like, you're stuck with me. And he's like, okay. Like, and we never had the conversation, right?
Mhm.
So today's topic will be from 30 years old plus.
Okay.
Make sense?
okay.
So which one so there's the gift exchange expectation.
Yeah.
How soon? Let's start with the how soon do you even?
Okay. My hands are sweaty. Okay. I think it just depends. So like my situation, I think like, there was like a situation that came up, like I was getting ready to go on vacation. So my kids are older. My kids are 17, about to be 18 next month, 13 and 6. So no one besides like my ex-husband, they know that I've dated. They know like I go out, but they have never met anybody. And like there's no reason for them to. Then I started dating somebody and I was going on a weekend trip and my oldest son was just
How long were you dating this person for at this point?
At that point, literally like 3 days.
She said she was about to say that's neither here nor there.
It was our second date was in Hawaii.
Wait, hold on. I knew about the trip.
She is breaking all the parameters already.
Oh, in my head, she's with a serial killer. So, and
you guys told me that. You guys said I was going to get killed.
And his nickname for the record is Fed. And don't ask why. I don't need to know why. It's just we call him Fed. Mm-hmm. So you jumped on a plane with Fed.
Second date was we're going to Hawaii. But we had already said like I know I want to be with you. We're going to be together. Like we had been talking for a while, anyways. But like officially, because like he travels a lot for work. It was like a whole big.
Okay, how long had you been talking? What's a while to your 35-year-old head?
I know, it might be 2 weeks.
Yeah, a while for me is like a month or two.
Yes.
Okay. So you've been talking for a while. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And
that makes me feel better.
because of like work and like all these things, like actual dates, it was our second date, and it was just like, but we like
life gets in the way. Understand? Okay, it makes it sound better now.
So I was like, when I called you guys, and everyone's like, you're gonna get killed. You're not leaving. This and that. It was like a whole big thing.
I remember.
And so when I told Gabriel, he was just like, I need to know who this is, Mom. Like, you're going on this vacation with a stranger. Like, what if you never come back? I still need my mom. And so I called him. And
mature of him.
I know. So I called him and I said, hey, my son wants to at least know what you look like. And he's like, understood.
So I can identify you in the court and say, yes, sir, that man standing right there is the one that killed my mom.
Understood. Okay. So he's like, do I come over? What do you want me to do? And I said, let me ask him. And so I asked him, and he's just like, basically, yeah, let's just do it that way. And that was that. Went on my trip. Everything's fine.
And you're still dating him?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so
the hesitancy and all.
Well, it depends. There's a lot of things.
I don't know if dating, like, again, the word dating is weird. You guys are still like hanging out in communication.
See, I call it seeing each other.
Okay, there you go.
That's
seeing
what
each
I
other,
call
filling it out.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, because like there's just some things we got to work out. Like it's just a little complicated, but at the end of the day, like we're trying to make it work. Like he's a little bit older. Like at this point, we're like, this is where.
First of all, he's not that much older.
6 years. That is.
Not really.
Not to be, you're old. You're 30 something.
I'm 35.
You're past the 25 year.
No, yeah, but once you're past that, we didn't go to the same high school.
But 6 years don't matter once you pass 25.
Yeah, 10 years. It's more like 10 years. You could say older.
I don't know, but when he wants to be asleep at 8 o'clock because he's tired and he's old, to me, I'm like, no, we're definitely not the same age.
Well, so I'm old like him. That's awesome. I'm like, I'm fed. My hats are off to you. Don't let her make you party. So go on.
No. So in that case, yes, he had to meet the kids. That was like a thing. And normally would that have happened? Absolutely not. There's no reason to. Like with Ryan, I was with him for a year before he met my older two boys.
Your ex-husband.
Yes. And we were together for a year before he ever met the kids. This situation came up, like, here you are.
Yeah.
And now we do things together. Like, he has kids, I have kids. Like, we're a Brady Bunch situation, and it's great. We love it. Perfectly fine. So it just.
So Thanksgiving was spent at my house,
and
there was no Fed.
No Fed.
So.
He had no invitation to. Let's clarify that.
No. Because I care about him deeply, yes. There was no invitation because I think that even though, and it sounds weird because yes, you did meet my kids and yes, we are establishing like our little thing, but do
you feel like that is sacred? Like, especially you guys come to our house and we all mesh very well.
Yeah.
We all openly speak, openly argue. There's no hard feelings, right? Everybody's, except for when I said that one of your kids was in the ugly stage and Seth got mad at me. But there's open topics, right? So do you feel like this is sacred for my kids?
I think
for me?
That, well, no, because I feel like for you, you've always said like.
No, not me, but for you, it's sacred.
Oh, no, I take and it's going to sound weird because you're like, oh, that's sacred, but you introduced him to your kids. That was like, that was just a circumstantial thing. You know, and then it worked out. So now that's just where we are.
Got it.
Because I can't introduce you one day and then you not come back. Like if I introduce you, the expectation is for you to be there and you're going to keep being there. And then I'll come to like, I've never even brought him to a Sunday. So like on Sundays or Thanksgiving, that is my sacred place. That is my special place. And if we are still in a place where we're trying to like, are we doing this? Are we not? Like, then you don't get to come. This has to be an all-in thing, and then you get to come because I can't have anything taint my sacred space.
Yeah, and I think it's good that the kids know who he is because I'm a firm believer in. I don't hide who I date from my kids. I'm very open about it. I think my kids should know for a lot of reasons, but one of the main reasons is, and I just said it in my last episode, is I don't like secrets. I don't want to, God forbid, pass away. Dear Lord, don't let that happen. And some man shows up at my funeral crying and my kids are like, who the hell is this? You know, and that happens a lot.
Yeah.
So for me, you don't need to necessarily meet him or you don't need to hang out with him. He doesn't need to spend the night. But hey, by the way, me and Billy Bob are, going to dinner and me and Billy Bob are going to a movie.
And let's clarify that wouldn't necessarily apply if you had younger kids, right? Like, if your kids are 4 and 5, you're not necessarily introducing them to somebody right away.
Oh, exactly. No. Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, because your kids are older as well. So
yeah, no, I think once I don't know. Seth was a very old, wise man at 5. He'd have been like, "Who are you? What are you doing with my mom?"
Yeah.
So, as they get older, because it does affect them, right? And my main reason is I don't like secrets. So I love that Gabe was able to meet him and know who his mom's in Hawaii with, because imagine your mom's in Hawaii for a few days and you're in high school and you don't know the guy. Like,
Yeah.
that's not a good,
So
Mhm.
not a good-
Lexi, I'm getting the impression then that you're almost taking the fact that you introduced him to your kids as an exception. Like it
That's
was
an
just for
exception.
this trip. So you're treating him now as if he's on that 1 year rule. Like
Yes.
these
So
are still all of
everything.
my private things. Even though you met my kids, that was an exception. So it's
Yeah,
almost
that
like
was
you
an
didn't.
exception, and it definitely accelerated things. Had there been no trip,
Yeah.
and then there would be no reason for you to meet the kids. But it was because of that, and because Gabriel specifically asked. Like, if my son would have just been like, "All right, have fun, mom. Like,
Yeah.
have a good time," like then it would have been different. But now,
When you take somebody to your family within a few months, we are dating the person. So we see the good, bad, or whatever in this person, right?
mhm.
But to the family, they're sometimes uncomfortable because they have to then be on their best behavior. And holidays for me, for my house, is where everybody just comes. Our Sundays where you let loose, you just relax. But now you got to watch what you say. You got to be quiet. And I don't think that the person who's bringing somebody takes that into consideration.
Oh, I do. But I tell you that I'm just like, oh no. Like I run through all the scenarios. Like I know your personality and I know everybody at the house's
Yes.
personality. And I immediately am like, oh, this is gonna either go really well or it won't go really well.
I think dating somebody within a few months and bringing them to a holiday, like a Thanksgiving, a Christmas, even a New Year's, Easter, like that's hard.
Or a wedding.
Oh.
Actually, well, okay, so I
Wait,
did
you
do
took
that.
him to a wedding?
I didn't take Fed to a wedding, but I took the person nobody likes to Loran's wedding.
Yeah, but we didn't see him.
Well, I think because everybody was so focused, because obviously the day's about Loran and Jackie.
Yeah.
But now everyone was just like, and I never brought him around anywhere. And we dated
I
on
didn't
and
even
off for
see him.
2.5 years.
So, well, I feel bad now.
Well, that was because you were just so focused on everything
Probably.
else going on.
Yeah, it was your
yeah.
daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like everybody else was just, hey. And then after it was all settled and done, they're like, oh my God, that's who it was this whole
But
time.
do you also think it was because your mom, who didn't go because she was on a cruise, and we won't talk about that? Do you do you think it's because you had to drive because it was a destination?
No, I
wedding?
flew. I don't drive anyway.
Oh, so you flew there?
Yeah.
So you brought him because you wanted to spend the weekend with him.
Well, yes.
Okay. Well,
And I was just like, at the time, I was like, okay, we got to rip this Band-Aid off. Like, everyone will be there. This is perfect. Great. Let's just throw this in and see how this goes.
that's a good idea. Rip the Band-Aid off and just sink or swim and figure it out.
Mhm.
Like, for me, I think when I was younger, I don't even know, like, if like Seth's dad, because we had dated, like, there's guys that I brought around, but it wasn't right away because we had a lot of dysfunction in our family to begin with. And I wasn't, like you said, who's going to mesh and who's not going to
Yeah.
mesh. And now I'm on such a, like that morning on Thanksgiving morning when I had to do the dogs, I had to do grandma, I had to cook, I had to do all that. Like, I don't have time to hold some guy's hand and baby him during all this. And some men can't either jump on the treadmill with me. They'll sit there and be like, well, what about me? Like, I can't do you right now.
Yeah,
There's an in
absolutely.
between to that though, because I
There's
think
what?
I think there's an in between to that, because if I were put in that situation, you definitely want to jump on the treadmill, but you don't know what's appropriate and what's inappropriate. And so it's sort of like, how can I help? How can I help? Can I do this? And so it's not like you're saying, I want all your attention, but at the same time, you can't just jump in because you're probably going to piss somebody off. But
There's
there's
a
an
lot of
in-between.
guys that I've gone on
Mm.
dates with, or I'm going to get murdered for this. Men are needy.
Very.
Like, rub my arm. Tell me you love me.
I've had
Hold my
someone get upset
hand.
because
Yes.
they were like, and this was in a group of my friends, and this specific person was just like, oh, people wouldn't even know I was here with you. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, they're like, oh, because
You're right
you weren't
here.
even, you weren't next to me, you didn't kiss me, you didn't know.
Men
And I'm
are
just
very
that
Okay,
annoys me.
wait, that's not needy.
That-
You take a man to someplace where he knows nobody else, and you go, "These are my friends," and then you walk away. That's different.
Did you walk away?
We were at my house. This was confined space. Like,
Oh.
and there was like 8 people there. It wasn't like 100. There was literally 8 people. I
Yeah.
introduced everybody. my house isn't that
But
big.
you
can
have
see
to,
me.
I will say this. Lexie has 3 boys and she's very busy. She has a very demanding job. She's an amazing mom, but she still has her personal life. And I was kind of the same way. It takes a strong man, like, uh, and what I mean, I'll just give you an example. I won't say names. Is it's going to take somebody to sit there and just let us do our thing
Yep.
and appreciate us.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
It
I
takes
get
a
that.
very strong, secure man to sit back and watch and be like, and say, hey, what do you need? Or if you see me take the trash out, come and just sit down.
Yeah.
That's a
Like,
given.
And
but
that's
not
what I'm
even-
talking about. That's that in between.
But
That's
not
where I
even
would
just
be.
that. Like if I'm bring you in this situation and I'm like, here you go, and I have to walk away and do other things, like if I'm playing host or if I'm talking, then you are a grown man. Talk to somebody, find somebody. Like if you want to be here, show you want to be here and get to know
Yeah.
these people. I shouldn't have to like hold your hand and be like, hi everybody, this is so and so and this is so and so. If you can't just jump in there, then you're never gonna survive here.
yeah. Well, I tell people that holidays are no different, but when you're dating a woman, Cuba Gooding Jr. said it in a movie about dating a single mom. Like he's like, don't date a single mom unless you're serious because they have a whole thing going on. And you have the 3 boys, and yes, my kids are basically grown and basically out of the house. But on holidays, we're still very like, we're moms.
Yeah.
Like we have to make sure that Lincoln's what 5,
6.
6. Oh yeah, he just turned 6. So you have to make sure Lincoln has food, even though he doesn't eat anything we cooked on Thanksgiving.
No, he just eats the bananas.
Yeah. I tried to say something on Thanksgiving about, well, you're not going to eat our food, Lincoln, if you don't pray. And Seth goes, he doesn't eat it anyway. But you got to still make sure that that Dom and Gabe eat, even though they're old enough to serve themselves. We're
Yeah.
it's
I
very time
understand.
consuming,
Yeah.
So it takes a lot. And Thanksgiving is not the place, I feel like. Maybe like a birthday party. Holidays are like, if you bring somebody home and you've been dating them 3 to 6 months, Lex, I'm gonna be like, hi. Like
But you don't think because if Seth brought somebody, we're not going to see you the next holiday, probably. Love you, but probably not. You're not
Right.
coming. We're not going to see this girl again.
And I'd love to share a story on that, actually.
But sorry,
Lexie
Seth.
said it, not
But
I agree
I
with you.
think. But wouldn't it be different if I brought somebody? I think everybody would be like, oh, because
Yeah, we would
don't
be. Yeah,
bring
we would be
anything.
shocked. We would be like, okay. But I also feel like we would also not be ourselves because we'd want to be on our best behaviors. We wouldn't want to make you look bad because
Oh yeah,
you have to have thick skin around Latino, Hispanic homes because we insult each other. We attack your, what is it called? Your weakest moment, and we just ride with it.
Mhm.
So we would not be able to do that, right? We don't want to make you look bad. We'd want to.
there would be a lot of side texting,
Yeah.
and a lot of side eyes,
Yes.
and it would be very obvious. Absolutely,
Yes, but I think you're right. If because you never bring people around, if you did, we would actually be like, oh, this must be serious.
Mhm.
But there's people that once a year somebody new, and I'm just like, your family should be sacred in a sense, right?
Yes.
Just bring somebody who matters. Don't just bring everybody.
Exactly.
Let me ask you something. Do you expect a gift now at Christmas from Fed?
Absolutely.
Wait,
Absolutely.
is Fed coming to Christmas?
not that Christmas. We will have our own Christmas.
And I want a gift.
I mean, like I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh my god, he didn't get me a gift and then it's over. No, but like we've talked about it. Like we've already talked about it. Like, hey, because we have other things coming up. Like this is what it is. But yes, the expectation of something is there.
I feel like the expectation would be there for me too, because to me it shows you thought about me.
Mm-hmm.
You went out of your way to actually put some effort into something, no matter how big or little it is.
that doesn't matter.
Yeah. So I would expect, even if we were dating for like 2 months, I would expect.
Even if I was your girlfriend last week.
Well, of course. Now, here's a question though. Would you expect him to do something for your family? Get a gift for your mother, for instance?
Oh, hell no.
Or anything like that?
I wouldn't even expect that if we were dating for like a year.
I
You
would.
should.
I would
No.
because I would. If it was like if we were like serious, yes, I would.
Why?
The family thing. I don't know. That's just what I think is the right thing to do. I don't expect you. If he showed up, like say I brought him to the house, I wouldn't expect him to bring a gift for everybody because that's not what we're doing anyways. But I've also was always raised like you don't show up to somebody's house empty-handed.
Well, he
Yeah.
could show up with like
like something like
Something.
not like a gift for everybody, but here from me to
Yeah.
you guys. And I know the kind of person he is, and he's a very
If it was like a bouquet of flowers, even if it was like a bottle of champagne, even though I'm not the one drinking it, everybody there would drink it.
But he's
Yes.
a very, very generous person anyways, so he would definitely
See, I would find it creepy if I was dating a guy for a year and I brought him around and then he bought my mom a gift. And like my kids, okay, I get it. But you brought my mom and Marianne and other people gifts, I'd be like, weirdo.
Well, maybe that's because it's your mom, though. I mean, 'cause I don't
No.
no, because that's your relationship with your mom. What I'm saying is like, let's say you talk about your mom a lot, or you love your mom,
Yeah.
blah blah blah. The guy's gonna hear that and understand that you have a great relationship with your mom, and he's gonna want to, be part of that or impress your mom in a way because he knows you mean a lot to her.
And I hear what you're saying, but like Pat and I are cool. I don't call her Pat. I said Pat to clarify. Like we're like I've said it before, like especially now with her and the grandkids and how she is, like Thanksgiving Day, she had foot surgery. We all catered to her because she couldn't really do anything. Like I just think that's me in general because again, it's my quirky, weird, possessive.
Well, I would also be like, you don't have to do that. Like I would be like, no, like that's weird. Like I wouldn't say it's weird, but I would just be like, that's not necessary. Like, don't worry about it. Like we're just coming. And if he like insisted, then that's on you. But I would never put that expectation of, oh, you have to get something for my whole family because we're going. No. But knowing him, he would definitely, at least for the kids, he would bring.
I guess a better example, if Jackie and Loran had only been dating for a few months, and Jackie went out of her way and got me a gift, I'd be like, you want brownie points?
Yeah, but that's a good thing.
But you wouldn't think it was weird, and that's my point.
I would think it's weird. Like, why are you giving me a gift? I just met you. I don't know if you're gonna laugh.
See, I was gonna use Seth as an example and say if Seth's girlfriend came over and brought you something nice, and you had known her,
I'd be like, oh, thank you. Like if he was with somebody for a long time,
right?
Like well over a year, and we know her very well, and she brought me a gift. Oh my God, hugs and kisses, thank you. But if it's prior to a year, and
6 months.
Oh no,
because like Gabriel, he's been with his girlfriend for 2 years. He's 17. They got together in November, and the very first Christmas was a month later. And I bought her a gift, and she bought me a gift, and it was something little. Like I think she gave me like a mug and a Starbucks card or something, and I gave her whatever her favorite gift because you just got with my son. But it was just like, okay, like and I want you to like me, and I accept you, and like here you go.
And that's probably the normal thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
But because of me and my, I just am like, I hoard everything around me. So I guess I'm always protective of it. So don't buy my mom a gift. Why do you want to buy my mom a gift? Don't buy Marianne a gift. Like, what's wrong with you? Like, I think I'm more that way because of my trauma in my life, and your way of thinking is more normal. Like,
probably.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, we're talking the generic mom.
Yeah.
Not your specific mom.
I just feel like I would be, even if I had freaking the Cosby mom, I think I'd be weird. I don't know. But I would expect a gift. Yeah. I would definitely. But again, the price or the amount, or you could buy me, like you said, okay, like I love coffee. So and I love Star Wars, let's say. So if he bought me a Star Wars coffee mug, I'd be like, that's cute because it's something you thought about, it's something.
No, it's not about the monetary value. I'm more of like, you actually thought of me type of thing than anything. So if we were only together 4 days before and it's Christmas now, well, you should have waited the 4 days to ask then. But now you ask, now, yes, the gift, and even if it is a mug.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
ask. So you're old fashioned, huh?
Yes, ask. You definitely need to ask.
Really?
He asked me. He's like to be his girlfriend, and I loved that.
Aw, that's cute.
Mm-hmm.
What did you tell him?
When he asked, I said yes, but then like life happened, and then whatever. But at one point, I did say yes.
She's like, at one point, we're okay. So she's like, yeah. And then let's go to because there's 3 of these. The next one was, which this is
a hot take.
Do you reach out to, here's the question. Do you reach out to your ex for a holiday, even a birthday? But there's 2 sides to it. Are we talking when you have somebody in your life?
Both.
And do your ex have somebody in their lives? Or are you talking about when you're both single?
I think it does. I think it doesn't matter.
And how long an ex though?
Okay, so I think that if you guys share children together, there's no reason you should never have to hate the other person. I think people just automatically assume like, oh, if we're no longer together, then I have to hate them.
Yeah.
You don't. They're your ex, especially if you have children together. You can say Merry Christmas, Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And that's perfectly fine. Whether you're with somebody, you're single, whether they're with somebody or single. At the end of the day, we have a child together.
Yeah.
So Merry Christmas. Be on your way.
What if
Yeah.
you don't have children?
If you don't have children,
The
That's-
answer should
there
the
is
answer,
no
the
reason.
answer should be no. The answer
Yeah.
should
The
definitely
answer
be
should
no.
definitely be
If there's no kids involved and like you're with somebody, you should not be reaching out to your ex and wishing them a happy anything. It doesn't matter. You don't share anything together.
Under any
That should be the
circumstances.
answer.
Yes, you're right.
That's not.
That's not.
Not saying that's always what I've practiced. Let's just say that.
But the same thing with an ex. Let's think about this. Just because you guys aren't together doesn't mean you guys hate
them.
each other.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that you guys aren't even cordial and you're not friends. And it depends on how long you're with that person for. Because if you're with that person for years, Merry Christmas, tell your mom, Merry Christmas, I hope everything's good. Like, that's hard to not want to do. But if either one of you has somebody into your life, I don't think that should happen. Now, again, it happens, but I don't think it should happen. Because that means that you're thinking about them.
Right.
But you don't, because it doesn't. What if it wasn't a horrible ending? So like,
Or maybe you're still in love with that person and
Right.
you still reach out to that person.
Lexie, we all see your smile. So let's just do this. All right. If
No poker
if you are telling an ex and you're going, like you said, reaching out, right? That means you calling or you texting or you whatever. There's some emotion behind that.
Let me
I don't-
say that. I don't know on her part. I'm going to say this. Prior to about 5 to 7 years ago, my exes reached out to me. And I've at times reached out to them. Platonic, but still reached out. Because I am friends with every single ex except for
that's weird.
the father of my... except for the...
That's weird.
And I'm
There's
actually
two-
with Lexie on that one.
There's
Like,
two
oh.
exes that I'm not friends with, but I'm still like, I don't talk to them anymore. Like we don't, but there was a point where like, hey, Merry Christmas. Hope you have a great day. Thank you. Same with you. Hope you and the fam bam are good. Like I didn't realize until, even though it was platonic, like it's still not the thing to do. You still shouldn't do
You
it.
think
Yeah.
so? I don't see it that way.
So my thing is this, if I'm married and as I got older and I got mature.
let's say not married. Let's just say
No,
you're with
if
somebody.
I'm with someone and we lived, even if we're together for a long time, we live together, married, not married, anything like that, and his ex reach out to him and says, Merry Christmas, I'd be like, yeah, bitch, he's gonna have a great day with me. You don't need to reach out to him.
Yeah.
Even if he didn't respond, what if he doesn't respond?
doesn't
He's
matter.
got
But
it.
he doesn't respond right then and there. What makes me think he's not gonna respond later
Well,
when I'm
that's
not
a trust
around?
issue. That's a whole nother topic.
But
let's
she
just say he doesn't.
felt free. Something gave her the free will to text him. So there's a reason she's texting him.
Right.
So you left the door open. And he's not telling her like, hey, this isn't cool.
Well,
like I'm married.
Maybe it was never like a hard like no, don't ever talk to me again type.
No.
Well, if you're married or live with someone,
Thing.
that should be known.
Let's just say no married, no living together. You're just with like you just have a boyfriend, or you're seeing
I'm
somebody,
sure
or
he's-
just seeing somebody, whether like officially or not.
The only you're keeping your options open.
Yeah.
No, I
That's
don't-
what you're
yes,
doing.
Really?
she's not like,
That's what you're
yes.
doing. You're keeping your options
And we
open.
feel like that's what Lexie's like.
No, no,
Look at that smile. Look at
no,
that. Look at that.
no.
So if Fed got a text on Christmas Day
hmm
from an ex that you didn't even know about until that text came through, and you saw it, it said, Merry Christmas, I hope you're having a great day. Like green and red hearts.
Why do you have to put the heart? That's excessive. But if
It's
it's just a
Christmas
Merry
hearts.
Christmas and a Christmas tree,
Yeah.
I would just be like, huh, like whatever.
What does the huh mean?
Yeah,
Just
and we
kinda
don't
like,
believe you, by the
Well,
way.
'cause
Yeah.
I think I would be more upset. Like, why didn't I know about this person?
What if it's an ex from like 4 years ago?
That you did know about.
Yeah.
Uh,
And my thing is, if it was 4 years ago and she's texting you, there's more than just that text.
well, when you say it that way, that's different.
Yeah, because think about it. Even in Alina's example, the guy had to have done something to make this woman feel like
Mhm.
she was free to text him.
It wasn't like, so I had a friend and she was dating this guy for 6 to 8 months, let's say. I don't even say 8 months, let's say 6 months. And she woke up one night to this girl who had texted him like 3 times.
Mhm.
But there was no previous text that she could see, right? So she called me and she was upset the next day. And the text said something kind of sexual. I said, hold on, before you like chop his what's off. Ask him. I said, because you guys, it's just been 6 months. You don't know if some random girl from a year ago, like they have once a year booty call or what they're at or what they're doing. No, you don't really
Yeah,
fully
you don't
know
have to.
somebody
That's true. Yeah.
for a year.
No, I'm gonna.
All the skeletons in the closet are going to come out. You got to shake off the cobwebs.
Right.
You got to kick the girls out, right? So I said, but you want to just break up with him and never talk to him again. And maybe this was their every 6 months thing that they did.
Right.
So
Okay.
Or when she got back into town or whatever.
So of course they talked and he was like, I haven't heard from her in months. Like, yeah, we used to hook up like when we were bored, right? So that girl didn't do anything wrong. He clarified to the girl, like, hey, I hope all is well. Thanks, but I have a serious girlfriend.
Yes, that's the perfect answer.
Yes.
But so my thing, because I was first kind of like, eh. So when Fed and I first started dating, like we're like, okay, like you have, I think we said like literally like a week. We're like, so obviously I know there's obviously today's
Wait,
new.
you started dating and with a week you're like cleaning out your skeletons?
Listen, first of all, no, it was just like, okay, like here we are today.
Yeah.
Boom. Okay, well, actually I have to tell the whole story because it's actually a funny story. Boom. The night he asked me, he's like, okay, I want you to be my girlfriend. I say yes. We're literally
Before or after Hawaii?
before Hawaii.
I'm done. Go on. Go on.
So anyways, so we're sitting in the car and then all of a sudden I look at his phone and it's ringing and it's a girl calling him. We literally just got together
Barbara?
2 seconds together. Her name was Nancy, actually.
Okay.
And he went to ignore. I said, no, answer it. And he goes, what do you mean? And I said, answer it right now. And I said, you need to tell her now you have a girlfriend. And he's like, what? And I said, well, you literally just asked me. I don't care if it was 5. Tell her. Like, now you need to know. He's like, I'll tell her later. I said, no, you're going to tell her right now. And he answers it and he's just like, hey, like, you can't call me anymore. I've got a girlfriend now. Blah, blah, blah. Actually, I grabbed his phone and I answered it because I know he's
Oh
gonna
my
watch and be
God.
like, whatever. Anyways, boom. Problem solved. Now she knows. You don't need to tell her
But
later.
it's not her fault.
It's not her fault. So I wasn't mad, but like, because obviously I know this happened 2 seconds ago. So, but it was just a coincidence, a really weird coincidence that she happened to call. And so now she knows, boom. And then we talked about it. We're like, hey, obviously you probably have been dating whoever. I've been dating whoever, but now like if we're going to do this and this is an official thing, you have a week to go through your phone, call whoever you need to call, let everybody know. I'm going to do the same. And there should never be another mysterious phone call again, like from today. You have a week.
Oh my God.
I think that's right because then you can let everybody know. And then like say 3 weeks later,
If it
then all of
happens
a
again.
sudden you're getting text message and a phone call. Oh, so you didn't call that person. So what's going on here?
But wait, didn't you just say it's perfectly okay to talk to your ex?
I didn't
on
say that.
holiday?
I didn't
Or
say
reach
that.
out to- Yes, you did.
I didn't.
You
say
had
it
that
was
total
perfectly okay.
smile.
I didn't say it was
Well,
perfectly
I will
okay.
say this. I did think it was okay to talk to your exes. So, and I had friendships with my exes. So
No, I don't think
Didn't
you should
realize
ever.
it's
I don't think
not
you should
okay.
ever be friends with an ex. There's no reason to. An ex is an ex for a reason. Like, why would I be your friend? It's weird, especially if I'm in a relationship now with somebody else. I think that's disrespectful.
So I was in a car with a current guy that I was dating. I guess he thought we were more than what we were. And we had been dating for like at this point 3 to 6 months. But you know me. So an ex happened to call and I didn't answer. And the guy got mad. And he's like, call him back. And I was like, no. And he's like, so I'm side texting the guy and telling him.
God.
And I said, I'm going to call you. Don't answer. Right?
If I ever got that text message, I'm answering. 'cause
you
Oh,
just-
he
you just made
answered.
it worse.
So where I further messed up is when he answered, I started talking to him in Spanish and he started talking to me back in Spanish. The guy in the car hung up and lost his mind because he didn't know what we were saying. But I said, oh, we always talk to each other in Spanish. That's, no, you don't. Da-da-da-da. Lost his mind. So that relationship didn't go very long. But I don't feel like it's fair to that person. One, I didn't want the two guys. Well, actually, the guy in the car started yelling at me. And the guy on the phone started yelling at him. Like, I don't know who you think you're yelling at. You don't talk to like that. So that guy in the car hung up. And that's exactly what I didn't want to
Right.
happen. Because I know the guy that I was calling back is very old fashioned. You don't talk to women like that. I will whoop your ass, blah, 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 blah. So I was trying to avoid that because it's not fair to him because he didn't know I was dating somebody.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't want to be mean or rude to somebody. And we were cool. He was an ex. Like, we didn't hate each other.
But I don't think but I don't think you should be friends with an ex. Like, there's no reason to. For what?
Can you be friends and reach out for holidays if you are both single?
Yeah.
No.
Why not?
Oh,
Because it's the same thing.
No,
It's-
because I have okay. So like, there's somebody I can't say his name because but you work with him.
Oh,
wow.
And we were never together, but we like dated for a little bit, like here and there, like
Yeah.
and I care about this person a lot.
Yeah.
And it was just never nothing besides like a couple dates here and there. And like yeah, we hooked up and everything. I definitely would tell that person, birthday, holidays, whatever, because that's just how we are. But
he's
it was
good. He's a good person.
because
And
he's a
good to
very
you.
good person and very good to me. And he's one of those people that I know if I ever got in trouble,
You could call him.
I would call him immediately.
Why didn't it work out
but-
then? Just out of curiosity.
We were just at very different points in our lives. Like he is very focused on his stuff right now, which rightfully so, and I have my stuff, and it just didn't work out that way. But we know that like we care about each other. Like you're a great person, and we can
The timing is
just be
not good.
friends. We
Yeah.
can just be friends, and that's okay. Like,
It doesn't mean that you don't care about each other.
Yeah.
either.
definitely.
Okay, so let's say this then, because I think the one component that's missing is if you're able to convert a previous relationship into a friendship, then of course it's going to feel a lot more natural to be able to say, hey, happy birthday, happy holidays, that kind of thing, whether you're dating or not dating.
No, my man's not doing that.
Well, assuming it's an all out, it's a known friendship with everyone else.
Wait, what?
No, because I don't
But
think
assuming
that
everybody
if-
knows you guys are friends.
So, like, if I'm dating or I'm with this guy and we're together and an ex that he has slept with is reaching out to him, yeah, absolutely not. No. You guys ever slept together? No, not happening. Sorry. No.
But you
absolutely
just said you're perfectly okay with
see,
your
Well,
exes.
that's why I'm saying I've said this before, like the rules that I have set for myself in the last 10 years
Mhm.
are different than when I was younger because I was young and I hated the world and I had a lot of trauma and I was all over the place, right? I've healed a lot. And now that I'm older and I'm more mature, and it changes when you have a son that you can throw out into the world and really mess him up. And I had to change a lot. Now, having a daughter is different. I shielded her a lot, but she's my girl. It's a different feeling. It's a different vibe. Having a son, I'm showing him don't trust women if I'm out being crazy and wild, right? He's never going to trust women. So
I just thought
I had to change a lot of my thinking, a lot of my maturity and stuff like that. So today, I don't associate really with exes. I wish them well. God forbid they passed away. Out of respect, I probably would go to the funeral, but I'd probably go with friends or a family member or even my kids, depending on who it was. And I don't wish anything bad upon any of them, but I'm mature enough to know, especially if they're with somebody, it's not right.
Yeah, that's another thing. Would you go to the funeral? Because I don't even think that's an automatic.
I would
There-
go and be in the very back.
No, there's some
Not for
I
everybody.
would,
Yeah.
because we did end, but as time went on, you're friends and you apologize to each other, and some of them I still see around and stuff like that. I think I would definitely go to the funeral. But to be honest with you, if I was married, I would ask my husband to go with me. Like I would have nothing.
Yeah.
I would have nothing to hide. But growing up in our town, the mom, the dad, the aunts, the uncles, the brothers, the siblings, right? I would go and I would expect my significant other to go with me to pay respects.
Okay.
Would you go to an ex's funeral?
I guess it depends on which one. Some of them.
That's
no,
what it really
absolutely
depends on.
not.
Yeah,
And then,
some
but
of-
then
yeah.
some of them, yes, I would go.
Oh yeah.
I would go.
Yeah, it just really depends. I think she's right on that one.
It depends on what food they're serving after.
Wait, but what?
It depends on what?
What food they're serving after.
What if you're with somebody, not married, you're just with somebody, and you have an ex, somebody that ended cordially, whatever, together for a long time, like all this stuff, called you and was just like, whatever happened, I need you. Can you be here for me? Whether like say like, God forbid, like they had a family member pass that you knew, or they got stranded somewhere. Would you go and help them, or say, sorry, I can't now, out of respect for your partner?
If I have a partner, my partner would go with me.
Yeah. And you tell your partner about
And I would
it.
tell my partner. So
And let them be part of the decision.
yes. And if he has a wife, oh, absolutely not. Not even with my partner, because I'm not.
No, they don't.
Yeah. So if
It's
they're
just like-
single and God forbid something tragic happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. But my partner is going to be very, very 100% aware and a part of it. Now, again, if he chooses to be like, I trust you.
Mm-hmm.
And me at this point in my life, everybody knows if I found Pablo, like I'm golden. I will never, ever cheat. I will never look the other way. I will never anything. Like it's all in. So no, I would tell him, and if he's like, you're good, go. Like he needs that. Like it's sad what happened. Like go
Yeah.
do whatever. Now, am I going to go and console him and hug him? No, like absolutely not. But am I going to go? I can't even think of.
Be supportive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, but yeah. So
Help him buy flowers or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
would you?
See, we know why you brought up this example, right? 'Cause you
No,
have the
like
story.
I think the same thing. Like I would definitely tell whoever I was
Yeah.
with, like, hey, this is a situation.
Yeah.
And they do definitely, can you come with me? Now, do I think a certain person would be like, especially if they're like, this person's stranded, he'd be like, get an Uber. Like they don't need you. Like there's no reason for you to be there, Lexie.
Well,
But like if it was like a tragedy,
yeah.
I think he would. I think
You would hope he would be there. Like he would be okay with it.
yeah.
I always say this though, like the word friend, and I've said this a million times, is used so loosely.
Yes.
So for me, a friend. So if Pablo was like, oh, I've never been with her, I've never this, we're just friends. Okay. So are you invited to her wedding? Are you
Oh, yeah.
invited to her birthday party? If you had a flat tire at 2 a.m., you can call her and her boyfriend's not going to want to fight you because you called her to come help you. Like those are the things you have to really signify. Like,
Yes.
for me, that's how I feel. Like that friend is a friend for a reason. Usually once you hit a certain age, you don't, like my grandpa Rudy said, I'm too old to meet new friends. So, and what he meant by that is he couldn't be like, oh, Pat, which is my grandma's name. Look at Barbara. I just met her at the Elks Lodge yesterday, because my grandma would punch Barbara. Like, no, like you're too old to meet new friends, because at some point when you're older and you meet a new friend and you're the opposite sex, there's a reason you guys are friends.
No.
You're not just friends to be friends. Like, you're my get along buddy. Let's go see a movie and have friends and not kiss and not touch and do anything.
That's not, I don't think that's true at all. Because I have a lot of, well, not
So you think they don't want nothing, but they want something.
but I can't control what they're.
But that's what I'm saying is they're not just friends.
I just know that I know I'm just your friend, and it's never gonna happen, sir.
But you're not just friends.
But we are just friends because I know.
But
that
at any
All right.
given
Well,
moment,
let's let the man in
yeah.
this conversation.
Thank you, Solomon.
All right. So let me explain to you. For the most part, when men and women get together, men are interested in something. Women set the boundary. Once that boundary is set, as long as you guys abide by the boundary, you can be friends. The second you provide any opening whatsoever, I don't care how long you've been friends, there's a possibility that man's going for it.
Thank you. That was what I meant. You said it better than I did. Thank
Yeah.
you, Solomon. That's
Okay.
exactly what I meant. So you have because I have friends like that too, but I have to make sure, like we talked about it with Tom when I had stuff going on at my house, and Tom's like, I'll help you. And I was like, nope, boundaries are up, right? Because of how men have always been with me. And Tom was like, girl, get over yourself. I don't want you. Like, I'm just being your friend. But I
Yeah.
didn't know how that was. Well, Tom is my friend now. Like, Tom's dating Marlene. He's totally happy. Like, he does. But I also
Well, not
know.
now. He always was.
Well, no, in the beginning, he wasn't dating Marlene.
No, I know, but even then, that was just your friend.
Oh, he's always
And you
been my
just didn't
friend.
know how to take it.
I didn't know how to
That
take
was
it.
just your
So
friend.
now I know for a fact if I called Tom and said, hey, I need help with my roof or a dead rat in the backyard, Marlene's like, I'll go with you or go help her. Like, she has nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
Because we had never crossed that line. There was never an idea to cross that line. He is literally just my friend.
Right.
But I also very much respect their relationship and very much know.
No, like he's not gonna be the first person you.
Oh,
call,
I'm
out of
not.
respect for her.
Out of respect
But,
for
like,
her, yes.
You've gone through every single person. You're like, okay.
Yeah. And I'd be like, sorry to bug you, like, but I've literally like like, can you come help me? You know what I mean? Because I want, and that's what you said, out of respect for her.
Mhm.
Because if I'm good with her, then we're always going to be good, right?
Yes.
Because if I would ever overstep my boundaries and piss her off at some point, it's slowly going to ruin him and I's friendship.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to lose. She's going to win. And I know that,
Yeah.
So let me keep smiling and respect that and be happy with that.
So before we end up, I said earlier I wanted to share a story. I know you guys totally forgot about me. And I'm sharing the story because I don't want in the comments people go, Dan, you guys didn't even let Solomon share his story.
Well, we're typical women. We're sorry. Go ahead. Share your story.
So
Solomon.
back to the whole thing about, the holidays and stuff like that. Like my daughter, she was dating a girl and they had been dating probably for 2 or 3 years, right? And so we got to know her and she'd come over for holidays and everything. We really liked her. So they broke up.
Aw.
And, within, 6 months or whatever, she was dating someone else. And so she's dating someone else for about 6 months. Christmas rolls around And she says, well, I'm bringing blah, blah, blah. And me and my wife, we looked at each other and we said, no, she's not coming. She's not. And so we made the decision of saying,
Yeah.
she's not welcome. Well, why not? Well, first of all, because we fell in love with the other girl
Yes.
and we still feel like we
Yes.
have feelings for that. And then we don't want to replace it. Second, we don't know if you're going to be with this girl in 6 months. And so I don't want to let her into our inner sanctum, which is what you have, right?
Yes.
I don't want to let her in our inner sanctum until we know for sure this is somebody you're going to be with. And my daughter was mad, but surprisingly, the girl understood and said, oh, no, well, yeah, no, I totally get it. I totally get it. Don't worry
Yeah.
about it, blah, blah, blah. And so it worked out. And so eventually she was around the next year, and the next year she was invited, and she went on, they eventually got married. But as parents, inviting people or the host inviting people, yeah, it's like you guys talked about. You don't want to ruin the family dynamic or have everybody having to feel like they can't just be comfortable because you've got this person that everybody feels like they have to make an impression of. It's like, what's the point?
No, I agree with that. Like, you
Yeah.
have to. And at ours,
Well, I think because you've always had an open door policy. So
Yes.
Thanksgiving, because it was kind of like a teeter-totter type
Mhm.
thing. And you're just like, the door's always open. Everybody can come. I hadn't made a decision, but all the males in the house
Oh,
were
yeah.
like, no, absolutely not. And it was a hard, and if I did it I could have just easily been like, oh, well, I'm there.
and he could have come, and he could have came, sorry, and everybody would have respected him, because that is the rule in my house. Like, nobody will ever feel uncomfortable in my house. Everybody is welcomed. My daughter's friends still come sometime and drop stuff off. Like, I do have an open door policy. Everybody is welcomed and will feel welcomed. Now, we have 3 young men,
Mhm.
my 2 nephews and my son, and they've all been raised to be very vocal, strong men. And when it
And
comes,
Gabe's starting to come into that.
yeah, and Gabe is too. So now you bring in, somebody else into an alpha dog's house. Wow. Like, that, like, us girls, as much as we're all alpha dogs, we're also very open and loving. So, like, Gabe brings his girlfriend, that's different, right? Like, if Seth brought somebody, if Michael brought somebody, you said, like, maybe some side texts, but men are different. I feel like men would be like, sup,
Yeah.
sup. Like, they'd be,
It's an automatic sizing each other up. You don't even realize you're
Yes.
doing it, but you do it.
yes. And poor Lexie would be so nervous, I think.
I'm not ready for this.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
she'd be like, or I think it would actually be where they'd harass them for about a minute or two, and then they'd all just start laughing and talking and
Yeah.
joking.
Yeah.
Like, they would, especially if they're drinking, they all laugh and joke after they're drinking.
And that's simply being a good host too, because you understand that you got this stranger coming into the environment, and you make them feel at home. You make them feel like, oh, get it yourself. It's in the fridge, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, I might feel it's odd if somebody brought somebody right away, but that person would never feel. I would never allow that person to feel uncomfortable in my house.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, little one.
Mhm.
So we'll have to update everybody if he comes over for Christmas or not.
Oh, just don't let him see this. He'll be like, okay, so I'm not invited.
He's like, and you ain't getting a gift either.
And by the way, the fact that I was invited, that means a lot to me. Thank you.
Oh, of course. We can't leave you out.
Yeah.
The cooking, I don't know how my mom did it, because she had foot surgery. And I feel really bad. Like, she couldn't even do anything that day. But
Yeah.
her turkey, and I'm not a turkey person at all, her turkey was so good. She prepped it and did everything. I just threw it in the oven. Like, her turkey was really, really good. All the other food was really, really good. But you should have came. You missed out.
Well, I mean, just to be clear, I was in Arizona with my sister, and we had a great time,
Well, that's good.
And I got the road trip with my daughter. She's 19, and she
Oh.
tells me all about, college and, life at Berkeley and all of that. And so it's quality time for me that I just
Yeah.
value at this point in my life.
Yeah, because you might not ever get it again.
Yeah.
The one thing I will say is somebody brought, and we're not going to mention names, we're just going to leave it at that, is I have, I can't stand the smell or the sight of green beans. And I've made that clear to absolutely everybody that I talk to. And
Somebody
yet,
bought a green bean casserole?
oh,
There was
Lord.
3 green bean casseroles.
There was,
Yeah.
I was like, what is everybody like? I can't look at it without getting Oscar where I'm like, "Ugh." Like,
Yeah.
no.
I hate it.
I-
But they
I'm
make one every
traumatized.
year.
To be fair, one of those green bean casseroles was requested by your daughter.
Well, and one of them I heard was really good, and it went really fast.
Mhm.
It was gone because somebody was trying to come back for leftovers, and it was gone. But I'm just like, can we put it in the corner where I can't smell it or see it? Like, no.
Wait, I didn't make the green beans, just so they know. That wasn't me.
Okay, no, it wasn't her. Somebody related to her. But thank you so much, Lex. I appreciate
Of
it.
course.
Thank you, Solomon.
Absolutely.
Subscribe onto YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. Thank you very much. Until next time. Bye.